Boom. Sort of, we think. I don't know how to put this exactly. Texas adds a offensive lineman out of the transfer portal. Just when you thought it was done, they keep bringing you back in. It's like the Godfather 3 movie. The portal keeps bringing us back in. Laurence Seymore, and this is going to take a while for us to dissect and discuss, has committed and signed with the University of Texas. He went into the transfer portal about a month ago. He was a second-team All-American at Western Kentucky this past year. Went into the transfer portal, but he had already played 4 full years of college football and had 1 redshirt year. He's applying for a waiver right now to make the final season a reality. Laurence Seymore has not even visited the University of Texas campus yet, but the 6'2", 320-pounder has signed with the Longhorns. Jerry, I'll start with you. Make sense of this for me. I think this is going to be a good thing for Texas if they can get him eligible, right?
Yeah, I think his 2023 year is a little bit of a mystery for me. And because I've seen it, Akron's – when we started looking at him a couple of weeks ago behind the scenes, Akron initially said he played in 6 games on their bio at Akron in 2023. They've now changed that to Miami in 2023, but he had transferred out of Miami. He was at Akron 2 years. I don't know what happened to the 2023 season. I'm not – nothing's clear on this. But we know he played the 24 season at Akron. He's a look. I saw the kid in high school at an Under Armour camp. He went to Miami Central. He's always been, on the shorter side, but Miami saw something they liked about him. A lot of schools kind of said, "Oh, we like this guy, but oh man, he's 6'1", 6'1 and a quarter, 6'1 and a half." But he's gone from that at about 285 to about 315, 320, whatever he currently is now. He's a really good football player. He's undersized, but he is a tough guy, and he is a physical football player. I mean, he's from Miami Central. You have no choice but to be physical there. But the mystery is 2023. What actually happened in 2023 with him? Because we've seen this all different, I guess, versions of this. So for people that don't know, so he was 2021 class. Mm-hmm. He redshirted. He played 2022 at Miami. Then 2023, he was on the Akron bio originally. He's playing at Akron. He played 7 games at Akron in 24, transferred to Western Kentucky in 25, and was a second-team All-American.
Yeah. So are you saying that the 6 games he played in Akron is no longer on the Akron website? Are you sure about that?
They just changed it to Miami on his bio now in 2023. But I don't think he was at Miami in 2023.
This is crazy. CJ, let's go past that because they're obviously going to have to ask for a waiver because even so, that would have been the 5-year clock expiring if he started in 2021, 21, yes. 22, 23, 24, 25. This is a big question mark for us. My question mark to you, CJ, is how good a player is he? Laurence Seymore, offensive guard, second-team All-American. Why was he a second-team All-American? Pro Football Focus, those sorts of grades.
Yeah, absolutely. Very much a plus in the pass blocking department. Did not allow a sack in 2025. How about just 1 pressure as well? And I'm making sure I'm reading that right. Actually, I'm not reading that right. That's 8 pressures, 0 sacks. So again, very talented for Laurence Seymore in pass protection. A guy that had an 82.6 pass blocking grade. He had 7 straight games over an 80 grade in pass protection as well. According to PFF, that's somebody that takes care of business when it comes to protecting the quarterback. That's something that Texas, obviously, at the left guard position a year ago struggled with. So on paper, at least, he is a perfect plug-and-play option at the left guard spot. Now, of course, the big Rod B, I'll let you say the big magical.
Kim Kardashian, Nicki Minaj size, Cardi B size, Megan Thee Stallion size, J-Lo size. We have to add J-Lo there. I don't want to just
that, of course, is all dependent upon his eligibility waiver. Thank you, Rod B. But altogether, a very good pass protector and someone that Texas could desperately utilize at the left guard spot.
This is blowing my mind, Rod B. Different time of college football. Guys had 5 years in college football, but might get a 6th. Is that look, is it a shot in the dark or what's going on here?
It's definitely worth Texas, taking a chance on it because we're seeing guys get extra years all across college football for very different reasons. And I'm not sure how the process works. I mean, do you have a lawyer stay in your place to get this waiver? And how good is the lawyer? Can Texas get him a good lawyer? Can we get him? Can we make sure that he gets the best of the business? And there you go. And I think for Texas, I hope it works out because he does seem like he'd be a great fit for them pass protection. I've said it before, this offensive line they're assembling, they're going to be much better in pass protection. Whether there'll be a better run blocking unit overall, I think that remains to be seen, but they definitely have a vision for building this O-line around Arch, and pass protection, it seems to be their top priority. All of these guys across the board. Hopefully this one works out with Laurence Seymore, but all of them across the board, they seem to have that as their part of their elite skill set and trait is that they can pass block really well. And I'll just throw this out there since Jerry was bringing it up, that you look at one website and what they say about that 2023 season in Western Kentucky, they say, I'll just read it here. They said after redshirting his first season there in 2023, and they're talking about Akron. So when they refer to Akron, they say he's redshirted in 2023. So they got his back. They're like, hey, he redshirted there. It's redshirting. But they did not give any details about how many games he played and how much action he saw. So the 2023 season, do we have the film? Can somebody break out the film?
Somebody's going to have to break out the film, Rod, because
right?
he either played and he's over the 30%. He's trying to get a redshirt year that year to get an extra year of eligibility. That seems like the case. Because 2021 was a redshirt year. 2022 he played, started 3 games. 2023, we're not sure. 2024 played 7 games at Akron. 2025 started at Western Kentucky. So the only way he's got eligibility left is if 2023 was a redshirt year and he gets a year back from injury. That's the only thing that makes sense for me. Yep. Because when Akron originally had him, the first time I looked at this, it said Akron 2023 played 6 games. And then 2024 for Akron, it said played 7 games. And I was like, whoa, this guy's not going to have a year. But now it doesn't really show him as playing in 2023. So I don't know.
All right, let me ask you this. So a couple things there on that, going a little – CJ, you have access to PFF stats?
Yes.
Correct. Do they have any stats for Laurence Seymore playing at Akron in 2023?
So there are no stats for any team. Akron, Miami, Western Kentucky, that 2023 season on PFF is basically vacant.
For Laurence Seymore.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It's like an Area 51 file, just gone.
Okay, all right. So let's see. Maybe there's a reasoning in here. We can get to the bottom of it. My question for y'all is, what does it do for the offensive line they're able to get him? Does this remove a level of uncertainty? Is he good enough to be a starter at left guard at Texas? I know he was second-team All-American, but that's at Western Kentucky. I'm sorry, but the Sun Belt doesn't see the same pass rushers that the SEC does.
Yeah.
Rod, your thoughts on that?
I do. I think he would fit right in. Like I said, pass protection-wise, I do think he excels as a player. And like I said, run blocking-wise, that remains to be seen as a unit, how they kind of coordinate that and what the identity of the run game is going to be with 2 new pieces in the backfield as well. But I think as a pass block, he's only giving up guys. He said 8 pressures this season. If you go look, 17 pressures his entire career. 17 pressures allowed his entire career. 4 sacks allowed his entire career. So this guy, like I said, he takes pride in his pass protection. I think he's athletic enough, even with the size. I think he's athletic enough to be able to keep up with some of the better interior pass rushers. Also, I like that he's disciplined. Penalty-wise, we know that's a big issue for Texas. 2 penalties in his entire career. Had 1 penalty as a starter for Western Kentucky, but 2 his entire career. It's another thing I like about the young man. Seems to have a game that is well disciplined, and you don't get a lot of penalties. Texas is something they're trying to clean up, obviously, on the offensive line.
To be clear, we don't know if he had one in 2023, though.
Yeah. I mean, they got him down for saw action in 6 games on the offensive line at Miami.
They edited that because when I looked at this a week and a half ago, it said 2023 Akron saw action in 6 games. So I don't know. It's just this.
CJ, question for you as it relates to your PFF grades. You were spitting out some numbers earlier about an 80+ pass grade, and I think it was this year for young man. What is it? What does that compare to for, say, some guys that were on the Texas offensive line? What was DJ Campbell and Cole Hudson's pass grade by comparison for Texas in 2025?
I might have to come back to you on that specifically, but hey, I know it wasn't anything near where that was for the pass protection. I actually am pulling it up here now. Look, Texas, again, they struggled with that spot. For instance, the season-long pass protection grade for Trevor Gooseby, who was the first team left tackle for the SEC, was 80.2. So that gives you an idea of how solidified he was at the left guard position. In comparison, DJ Campbell at right guard was a 77.6. Brandon Baker was a 77.7. And then you're going to have to go down the list quite a bit. Connor Robertson was 66.8. Connor Stroh was a 64.9. And Cole Hudson was a 43.7 on the season. So you're, again, in comparison to what we're seeing for PFF, that is an immediate upgrade. And the one thing I'll also add to that is this is a guy with a lot of experience, over 1,200 career snaps at left guard specifically.
Yep.
Now, again, the change in, competition, who he will be seeing in the SEC, I understand that, but at least this isn't a foreign position for him. And it kind of fits one of those red flags that I've been talking about with Rod B and Jeff Howe. Hey, it's a plug and play from left guard to left guard. Sign me up for that.
Yep. He's also got a few snaps at center, too. So he had like 41 snaps at center, had 70 snaps his career at right guard. So who knows? I know Texas is still looking for an answer potentially at the backup center position. Not saying he'll be that, but at least you got a guy that's played every position on the interior for you.
Yeah, my understanding, people are saying, well, Texas would have done this if Texas wouldn't have done this if there wasn't something that still needed to be cleared. My understanding is he still hasn't made an official visit.
Now, that's next week. I was told he will be on campus next week. And some people in the chat saying, well, Texas has to know he's getting a waiver, else they wouldn't assign him. Well, maybe other people were about to sign him and they had to make a decision, because I've texted a couple of people and this issue is not resolved yet. Now, that doesn't mean it won't be tomorrow or Thursday or Friday, but as of when we started this show, he has not been granted the extra year yet. Yeah. From 2 different sources.
Yeah, that follows with what I was told previously on the young man. So look, here we go. I think even if it's a shot in the dark, and I think it's more than a shot in the dark. I think this is a betting against the system, like so many others have done, and seeing where it plays out. Texas is going to try that and see what happens here. My question is, will he be able to make it in for spring ball? Because if he's not visiting till next week, that means he would have to enroll in classes next week. That would be into February. So we'll see if they can even get him in for spring ball as well as part of this. A lot of questions. I wish we had all the answers for you. We don't. So that's why we're out here right now trying to explain this as best we can. But Texas signs Laurence Seymore, a left guard out of Western Kentucky, second team All-American this past year, an 80+ grade pass protector out of Western Kentucky, originally signed with the University of Miami in 2021, played 2 seasons for the Hurricanes before transferring. It'll be interesting to see where this goes, guys, but Texas picks up Laurence Seymore. Anything else you want to add before we let folks go? Rod, Jerry?
No, I was just going to say, just so people, because we've had people join us where we're at on this, is waiting for a waiver to see if he gets the extra year. There's some uncertainty in the 2023 season. We know he was at Akron, but did he play? It's right now it's a red shirt. It's been listed as played 6 games at one point in time. So redshirted first year at Miami, played 6 games, started 3 in 2022, his second year at Miami. Transferred to Akron in 23. We're not sure about 2023. 24, played 7 games at Akron, transferred to Western Kentucky, started every game, was a second-team All-American at Western Kentucky in 25. What happened in the 2023 season is probably going to decide if he gets this waiver or not. That's, I think, where we're really at with this. As a high school prospect, came out of Miami Central, played on some tremendous football teams. And even though he was a guy that was 6'1.5", shade under 6'2", had great feet, great flexibility, really physical player, was recruited by a lot of big-time programs, decided to stay home, signed with Miami out of high school as that borderline high 3-star, 4-star players. I think somebody had him like 250 in the country. Another ranking service had him as the highest 3-star at 89 grade, where 90 starts 4-star. So I saw him at an Under Armour camp way back in the day. Has really good feet, really talented player. Everybody's trying to figure out right now that 23 season and what's going to happen there in terms of his eligibility if he gets that extra year. But Texas signed him with hopes he does, and he's really good if he gets the extra year.
It'd be good. Good pickup, Rod. You agree? Good pickup overall.
I do, but I am right now I am very intrigued by what's going on with that 2023 season. I do think that it's got to be a medical issue of some kind, a dispute of some kind, and that depends on. And I wonder if they'll end up taking that to, if that would be a litigation issue, what does that and what does that do with the timetable if they do have to end up kind of litigating whether they thought, he played this many games, but no, I was hurt. And then who determines whether, you as a player, whether you will get that time back? It's the NCAA makes the final decision. So I can't wait to kind of see how this process works, because I have no idea.
Here's the issue. Even if it could be personal, it could be injury, it could be a number of things. His clock has already run for 5 years.
Yeah.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Even if he uses any of those as a redshirt year, his clock has run. And so when A. Lincoln says Texas has done far more due diligence than reviewing Akron's football website, the answer there is absolutely yes. He still needs a waiver to complete a 6th year of college football, no matter whether he played in 23 or not. So you have to get a waiver for a 6th year. Have they been shown to do that? Yes, but not necessarily while they're all at a NCAA school. And what I mean by that is people mentioned Diego Pavia. Well, he was at a JUCO. Trinidad Chambliss was at a D2 school.
Yeah.
So there's an element here that regardless of what Texas knows to be true and Texas hopes to be true is where we're trying to connect between. And I do think there's a good chance of him getting it. That's the NCAA hasn't won in court in how long? Seriously? So I think there's a good chance, and I think Texas took an educated guess at this and likely going to be rewarded for it. But anyways, Laurence Seymore, go ahead, Rod.
There's an industry of lawyers now that do specialize in this type of thing, basically going against the NCAA to get guys extra years. So, I assume that he's got the best representation possible. And if he don't, then Texas is going to get it for him to argue his case.
All right. Could have fixed the left guard situation. I wrote today that I thought Texas would likely be done getting guys that really made a dent. Maybe not. Maybe the Longhorns pulled a fast one here. All right. For Rod Baver, CJ Vogel, and Jerry Hamilton, I'm Bobby Burton. Congratulations to Laurence Seymore. Even if you never play down, Laurence.